What is good? What is good? What is good? Today I found I was, I was looking for a YouTube video to record. I was about to record and end it, and then I found this, the official His Story June compilation. And I was like, why not I react to this video? It's 6 hours, so there's gonna be multiple parts to this. Or I'm just gonna watch some of it. But yeah, let's get started.
I grabbed the last bag of BBQ chips off the shelf, but two kids snatched it from my hands and held it high over their heads. I was 4'2" and officially a midget, so when I jumped for it, I barely reached their shoulders. They pulled out their phones. "Go on, little man, jump," and hysterically laughed. My
Do
face
you want to know something? You could pull his arm down, even though they will just hit you, but it's worth it off track.
burned with shame, but I kept jumping because these chips were discontinued. I had driven to 13 stores for this last bag, and nothing was stopping me from getting them. They waved it over my head for the 10th time, but then a hand came from the sky. A 7-foot man was holding the chips up over Punk's head.
Oh my lord, that guy's giant.
His phone out. "Go on, jump for it." They jumped but couldn't even reach his chest and stormed off embarrassed. I smiled up at him, but he was already looking at the label. Barbecue, my favorite. He opened the bag right there and literally stepped over me to keep walking. I swung as hard
That guy is a savage, my guy.
as I could and missed by so much I almost spun out of the box. It was the bottom of the 9th. We had a runner on third, 2 outs, down by 1. The ump dropped into his squat behind me. "Just put the ball in play, kid." I looked up at my dad in the bleachers and winked. "I'm hitting this one over, Dad." He cupped his hands around his mouth. "Send it, bud." The next pitch came in slow and right down the middle. I swung as hard as I'd ever swung in my life, and the ball cleared the fence by 10 feet. I dropped the bat and started running. Rounding first, I looked up at the bleachers to find my dad. He wasn't standing up. He was supposed to be standing up. He was the
I think your dad just left you for the milk.
loudest one in the bleachers, and now he was just sitting with his hand on his chest. My mom was right next to him watching me through her phone, screaming, "Run, run, run," second base. Dad still wasn't
We all know what's gonna happen. The dad's gonna have a heart attack.
moving. By third, I was barely running. He fell forward over the bleacher rail, and I stopped halfway between third and home.
And what did I say?
"Dad!" I dropped the helmet and started running off the field toward my dad. The ump had my dad on the ground, pumping his chest with both hands. I fell to my knees and grabbed my dad's hand. My mom
This
was
is a little intense, and this is a little serious, I would say.
on the phone with 911 screaming our address. 5 minutes later, the ambulance pulled
If
up.
you screamed your address in the middle of a public whatever this kid is playing, whatever that place is, you watch them. Everyone knows your address now. Just say it. I know you're scared. Not scream.
And the paramedics got him on a gurney. As they
Not
were
gonna lie, that's actually worth it. Scream.
loading him in, his eyes opened and found mine. I saw it, bud. His grip tightened on my hand. I've never been prouder. Then they slid him in,
And then this
the
guy casually died.
doors closed. I hit the only home run of my life, and my dad lived to see it. He keeps the ball on his nightstand. I was sitting in class when a
I
Smurf
think your dad is dead. Who agrees?
my life, and my dad lived to see it. He keeps the ball on his nightstand. I was sitting in class when a Smurf walked in. It was my professor, painted head to toe blue with a white hat and everything. Half the class started laughing. He didn't react at all. He just set his bag down and started teaching like nothing was different. The girl next to me leaned over and whispered, "It's Smurf Day." I asked her what that meant. She just looked at me and said, "You'll see." After class,
It's Smurf Day. I'm wondering what it means, man. I'm actually wondering.
I grabbed one of the older students and asked him what was going on. He sat me down on a bench outside and told me the whole story. A few years back, the professor had a 3-year-old daughter. She was diagnosed with a rare brain disease and spent most of her life in a hospital bed. The Smurfs was her favorite show. Every night after his last class, he'd drive straight to the hospital and sit in the chair next to her bed and watch it with her. She'd rest her head on his arm, and they'd watch every episode together until she fell asleep. He was a single dad. He couldn't stop teaching because that's how he paid for her treatment. So every morning he'd leave her in that hospital room and walk into a classroom and pretend he was fine. He'd come in with red eyes and nobody said a word. Eventually, some of his students found out what was happening and put together enough money for him to take time off. He got to spend her last few weeks with her because of them. She passed away 3 days after his last class. Every year on her birthday, he walks into class painted blue from head to toe. He never explains it. He never talks about it. He just teaches the whole lecture looking like a Smurf because it was the last thing that made her smile. I was
Not gonna lie. Why are you smart?
12 and starving when I threw a chain over the electric fence around Mr. Hatch's apple tree. Sparks shot up everywhere and the wires went dead. My little sister was watching from under the bridge with Tommy and 4 others, gripping the moldy loaf we'd been splitting for 3 days.
Sorry, you're eating moldy bread. That's a little sad.
Mr. Hatch's porch looked down on that bridge. All week he'd been on it biting into apples and yelling at us. "These apples are the sweetest in town, rats. You'll never know." Tonight, I was going to know. I climbed over and tiptoed across wet grass toward the tree. A stick snapped under
Why are you the one that is doing it? Why are the rest just sitting there? They're saving moldy bread. There's 6 of you. Three of you can just go there and the rest can stay. Hey, like... What?
my foot loud enough to wake a graveyard. I froze, but the house stayed dark. 3 steps later, motion lights flooded the whole yard. A door slammed open, and Mr. Hatch came charging out in his bathrobe. "Get your hands off my apples, you little rat!" I sprinted to the tree, jumped onto the lowest branch, and climbed as fast as I could. He came barreling across
This guy is the biggest savage I've seen.
the grass with his head craned up at me, and caught his foot on the chain I'd thrown across the wires. He flew shoulder first into the trunk so hard the whole tree shook. An apple the size of my fist
I
dropped
think my guy just called him fat.
straight down and clocked him on the forehead. He went face down in the grass and didn't move. I whistled
Oh, damn, bro. How heavy are those apples?
twice from up in the branches. Tommy was first over the fence with the rest piling in behind him. They stood under the tree with shirts held open while I dropped apples down until every shirt was full. Mr. Hatch woke up to bare branches. Under the bridge that night, my little sister got the biggest one, and we ate until our stomachs hurt. Turns out he was right about one thing. They really were the sweetest in town. My principal
Why did your sister get the most? It should be you that got the most.
tried to shut down my silly band's business 4 times before he gave up. At recess on Monday, a first grader handed me $1, and I peeled the glow-in-the-dark unicorn off my wrist and dropped it on his. Behind him, a dozen more kids were waiting their turn, all holding quarters.
Bro, you guys are paying for a bracelet? It depends on how old you guys are. I know you're in elementary.
A second grader tried to trade me a
Well, okay, oh my lord, I just feel so guilty. Because I'm British and I just said elementary, not primary. Get
half-eaten Reese's, and I told him cash only. By Friday, I had more cash
Meet Billy.
I'm crashing out right now. We're back from the ad.
than my babysitter made in a week, and Mr. Doyle was watching me from across the playground with his arms crossed. The next day, I was in math class when I heard Mr. Doyle on the intercom. "Effective immediately. No silly bands are permitted in the classroom." I rolled my stack into my pencil case before he finished talking. At recess, I sold from the bathroom line while he prowled the playground checking wrists. The next day, he was
Exactly. They said only in the classroom. You can do it somewhere else. I'ma slap my boy up.
back on the intercom. "No silly bands are permitted anywhere on school property." After
Now they're gonna sell it in the park in the school.
the bell, I set up shop on the sidewalk 6 inches past the school gate. Kids poured out and lined
Exactly, bro.
up while Mr. Doyle rushed to the
What are silly bands? Let me go check that out. Technically, it gives you a tattoo. I'm joking. It just makes a mark on your arm. It's a weird shape thingy that makes a mark on your arm, I think. That's
property line, gripping the fence as every dollar went into my pocket. A couple days passed, and I was sitting on the couch when my mom answered the phone, and I heard Mr. Doyle's voice. "Your son is running an unsanctioned business outside our school, and I need you to put a stop to it." She covered the phone and turned to me. "How much have you made?" I held up the wad and told her $92. She got back on the phone and said, "Sounds like he's learning," and hung up. Then that
Oh my savage.
Friday, Mr. Doyle stood at the gate watching me set up the line. He didn't say anything, didn't take notes. He just shook his head, turned around, and walked back inside. The next morning, he stopped me in the hallway. I tightened my grip on my arm because I figured he was finally taking my stash. He pulled a wrinkled dollar bill out of his pocket. "My daughter wants the glow-in-the-dark mermaid." I slid it off my wrist and put it in his palm. "Cash only." Eric opened my snack cabinet and groaned.
This is literally why kids should be able to get paid for going to school in general. What is it?
My snack cabinet and groaned. "There's no snacks in here." I stared
Your big self, get out of here.
the Pringles, the ice cream, the Doritos, and chocolate candies. "What do you
My guy, I don't even have that.
mean there's no snacks?" Eric looked at me with red eyes and a goofy smile. "I'm on the munchies, bro. I want Cheetos. The only open store is a 90-minute walk. Just eat the Doritos." Eric slammed the cabinet closed. "I want Cheetos, dude."
Then don't eat, my guy.
I groaned and put on my jacket. We
Why
stepped
are you going to get Cheetos? He can go get them.
outside and Eric rubbed his hands. The walk will go quickly, dude. Trust me. But 5 minutes and heavy rain started pouring. My hair got wet and my pants immediately became drenched. Eric, let's turn back. You don't even have a jacket. But Eric smiled and put his arm around me. The longer the path, the louder the crunch, bro.
Why are you coming? What? Okay, these people are okay, bro. I've had enough of his story. We're going to her story. Okay, we've now switched to her story.
I walked into school with a giant head cast after a traumatic brain injury and had to take a math exam to keep my scholarship. I got back my senior report card filled with D's and wanted to improve it, but while studying that night, I felt frustrated because I couldn't focus. So I went to get some water to calm down, but that's when my foot clipped the railing and I slipped on my stairs, falling and hitting my head hard. I woke up
Not gonna lie, this exactly happened to me. I rolled down the stairs and I somehow survived because I'm like the goat.
ER with no memory of what happened and a head cast around my whole skull. The next Monday, I stared at myself in the school bathroom mirror in tears because I had a geography test and couldn't remember anything, but that's when I got the idea. I pulled out my AirPods and slipped one in my ear under my head cast. I walked into my geography test on call with my friend as the teacher gave out the exams. She walked to my desk and placed my paper down without even looking at me, and I laughed chaotically on the inside because it worked. I picked up my pen and listening to my friend read out all the answers, aced the exam. I walked out with 100, my hands trembling with excitement because the head injury was a blessing in disguise. Every test over the next few weeks, I did the same thing. Teachers never suspected the girl with a brain injury to be smart enough to cheat. I listened to my friend call out answers and laughed to myself.
You can't remember the answers, but you can remember them.
About how easy this was, but then my head healed and I took off my cast. But while getting ready for school, I remembered the history test today. I'd stopped studying entirely these last few weeks and panicked because I realized I was screwed. But then I looked at the cast I'd just taken off and put it back on my head. I aced every test for the rest of senior year, even getting a scholarship to Baylor and an acceptance letter. I walked into my last math exam in my head cast, grinning like an idiot. But when the exam moderator came around, she looked at my head cast intently. I gulped because my AirPod was right there, and if she saw it, everything would be taken away. But she just nodded like she was proud of me for taking AP math with a brain injury and put down my paper. I finished my exam in 30 minutes and walked because I'd done it. But then while walking home, I stepped onto the road and heard a loud screeching sound. I turned my head, saw the bumper, and...
My God, that's the stupidest car.
My sister burst into my hotel room at 6 in the morning. The Figment popcorn bucket drops at Disney today, and I have to have it. She's 24, lives off our parents, and has a shrine
now there's someone that has no life.
to Figment the dragon in her bedroom at home. She made us sit through a 45-minute presentation about how we were going to get the bucket, with a map and a color-coded timeline. I tapped the map and said, "It's just a popcorn bucket." Her face went red. "You have never understood me." My mom squeezed my arm. "Please just support her. Something was going to go very wrong today, and I already knew I was going to get blamed for it." We arrived at Disney 2 hours before it opened, and the second the gates unlocked, my sister took off like a bullet with my parents right behind her. I walked at a normal pace because I do not run for anyone. By the time I got to the store, the line was already wrapped around the building. We got in line behind a family with a small boy who was holding a balloon and eating a churro and had no idea what was about to happen to him. My sister started refreshing 5 Disney Facebook groups while my mom rubbed her back and whispered, "We're so close, honey." We inched forward for 40 minutes while my sister's eyes darted to the front of the line every 10 seconds. Then, when we were almost at the front, a cast member came out and started counting heads. She pointed at the family in front of us. "You guys will get the last one." My sister screamed so loud the kid in front of us dropped his churro.
My God, shut up. You're 24 or something.
The family started to walk away with their kid holding the bucket above his head, and my sister
And now she's gonna steal it. I told you.
off after them, trying to grab the bucket out of the kid's hands. The dad pulled his son away, and my sister screamed, "You don't even care about Figment." My mom shoved the dad and
My
ripped
God, you don't care about grass.
the bucket from the kid's hands. The kid started crying, and the other mom grabbed the bucket back, but then my mom yanked so hard the handle snapped off. My sister dropped to her knees. "You broke it!" Then she pointed at me. "This is your fault. If you had run, we would have been ahead of them." Security marched us out past hundreds of people filming on their phones and banned our entire family from every Disney park.
Exactly. Go touch some grass. You went and touch grass. You touched grass. For what purpose? Oh, get out. These story channels, they are bizarre, bro. Bro, if you want me to do this again, then tell me in the comments.